Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Brandon Wong. The headlines. Man gets 10 years jail for insulting Islam on social media. And dengue cases soar 156%, with 49 deaths reported last year. Good morning. A Malaysian was sentenced to more than 10 years jail, while 3 others were charged over insults against Islam and the Prophet Muhammad on social media. The sentence is believed to be the harshest such penalty on record in the country, where concerns over racial and religious tensions have grown in recent months. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said the operator of the Ayah Facebook account, together with 3 others, were prosecuted under the Penal Code as well as the Communications and Multimedia Act. Tan Sri Fuzi, in a statement on Saturday, said the operator of the Ayah Facebook account pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 10 years and 10 months jail, while the operator of the Yazid Kong Facebook account also admitted to a charge from the Communications and Multimedia Act and is awaiting sentencing. Separately, the operator of the Alvin Chow 333 account claimed trial to charges under all 3 sections. The operator of the Danny A. Antonio Jr. Facebook account pleaded not guilty to 2 charges from the Penal Code and is being held without bail until his trial on April the 15th. Tan Sri Fuzi added that they were hauled up for provoking religious unrest and is punishable by between 2 and 5 years imprisonment, and incitement, which is punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine. The Communications and Multimedia Act offence pertains to the nebulous act of abusing network services and is punishable by up to a year's imprisonment and a fine of not more than 50,000 ringgit. On Thursday, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Mujahid Yusof, said that the Islamic Affairs Department had set up a unit to monitor writings and communications insulting Islam and the Prophet Muhammad. He said the ministry would not compromise on any acts insulting the religion and call for punishments against those found guilty as such. Dengue cases went up by 156%, and that's 17,433 cases from January until March this year, compared with 11,146 cases during the same period last year. The number of deaths had also increased to 49 people, compared with 26 deaths during the same period in 2018. According to the Health Minister, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, the soaring numbers are a concern, prompting the ministry to introduce the latest approaches to combat the disease, which includes the artificial intelligence AI technology.
Keupayaan AI itu kita boleh roll out untuk seluruh negara sebenarnya. Kita boleh laksanakan untuk seluruh negara. And we can even map out mana potential outbreak. Ini cara yang agak canggih dan terkini untuk kita gunakan artificial intelligence. Ya, sudah sampai waktunya kita menggunakan teknologi, ya, itu sebenarnya sebagai the state of art. Ya, kita ada kepakaran sebenarnya di pejabat saya sendiri. Ya, kita ada seorang yang memang pakar dalam AI dan prediction seperti ini.
He said this after launching the Gotong Royong Mega Perangi Aedes 2019 program in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday. Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli added the approach has been tested prior to this in Pulau Pinang and had shown a positive result. He said his ministry is also planning to test the technology in several states which recorded a high number of dengue cases before it can be introduced in other states, which will be rolled out in the Klang Valley in the middle of next year. On the use of Wolbachia-infected Aedes mosquitoes to combat dengue in outbreak-prone areas in the Klang Valley, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said the ministry is considering the use of the mechanism in other states as well. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said that his ministry needs to amend the existing law before the proposal to make 2 vaccinations compulsory for children is implemented. The law on the vaccinations will then be tabled in Parliament.
Saya harap akan dapat bermula sebaik saja kita buat keputusan bersama bersekali dengan Kementerian Pendidikan dan juga Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita. Ya, perkara ini sikit memerlukan sikit pindaan undang-undang untuk menjadikan ia mandatory, ya. Harap faham itu, sebab tu kita ambil langkah itu sangat cermat. Kita ada sidang parlimen bukan? Mungkin tidak yang terdekat ini, tapi yang seterusnya insya-Allah.
The health minister had earlier said that his ministry was willing to consider a proposal from the Malaysian Pediatric Association (MPA) for mandatory immunization for at least 2 vaccines of the 12 under the National Immunization Program. The Kelantan government on Saturday thanked Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad for approving 5 development projects worth 1.4 billion ringgit for the state. Menteri Besar Dato' Ahmad Yaakob said the PAS-led state government had also expressed its support for Prime Minister's decision that there be no more political appointments in the Kelantan Action Council. Datuk Ahmad Yaakob in a statement said the state government would also like to thank Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali for visiting the Menteri Besar's office recently. During the visit, Datuk Sri Azmin, who is also Kelantan State Action Council Chairman, also announced the 5 key projects and the amount allocated by the federal government to Kelantan under the 11th Malaysia Plan. The projects were the East Coast Highway 3 (LPT3), Central Spine Road (CSR), extension and upgrading works at the Sultan Ismail Petra Airport in Pengkalan Chepa, Kota Baru Kuala Krai Highway and the Palekbang Bridge. The projects were among the major agendas in the last 3 years of 11MP, which runs from 2016 to 2020. Datuk Sri Azmin had earlier expressed his hope that there would be good coordination between the federal and state governments to ensure these projects were completed, as such cooperation would give a positive impact to the state's economy as well as the people's welfare. UMNO has proposed the establishment of a coalition government with PAS in 4 states administered by the 2 parties. Its Deputy President, Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan, said the state government coalition's proposal was submitted to PAS recently.
Itu sebab yang saya bincang dengan PAS tadi, kalau boleh kita mulakan dulu Terengganu, Pahang, Terengganu, Kelantan dan Perlis. Kita buat kerajaan campuran, kerajaan penyatuan rumah. Kita panggil kerajaan penyatuan rumah. Kita buat. Kita telah hubungkan Jabatan Kuasa Kerja untuk kita melihat Datuk Khalid Nordin, naib Presiden kita, menjadi pengurusi Jabatan Kuasa Kerja.
Datuk Sri Mohamad was speaking to reporters after meeting with party leadership in Melaka at Parit Penghulu, Sungai Rambai, Melaka on Saturday. Present was UMNO State Liaison Chairman Datuk Sri Abdul Rauf Yusof, Jasin UMNO Division Deputy Chief Datuk Roslan Ahmad and Jasin MP Datuk Sri Ahmad Hamzah. Last Tuesday, at the first-of-its-kind special committee meeting involving the leadership of UMNO and PAS, both parties officially confirmed their political cooperation. The 2 parties also said that their mutual focus would be the unity of Muslims without sidelining the nation's pluralistic society. The draft special initiative plan by the Housing and Local Government Ministry to assist the 40% medium income group M40 to own a house is expected to be completed this May. Its Minister Zuraida Kamarudin said the ministry was in the process of studying how to help the group by providing affordable homes based on income.
M40 itu sebenarnya adalah extension of the B40 punya program yang kita akan extend kepada M40. Cuma M40 ni dia punya pendapatan tu kita ada 2 kategori. Satu the lower M40, satu upper M40. So lower M40 is between 3 to 5. Kalau 3,000 B40 kan, 3 to 5 dan lepas tu 5 to 10. 3 to 7 dan 7 to 10. So yang ini kita akan lihat bagaimana kita nak membantu mereka dengan rumah-rumah yang mampu milik berdasarkan pendapatan dan sebagainya.
Zuraida spoke to the media after attending a program for Palestinians in Cyberjaya on Saturday. She said the drafting process was being carried out in collaboration with several relevant agencies. Wisma Putra is currently in negotiations with Indonesian authorities for the release of 16 Malaysian detainees who were arrested in Palembang, Indonesia for abusing their social visas. Foreign Ministry's Protocol Chief Wan Zaidi Wan Abdullah said efforts are being made to look into the welfare and health of the detainees as well as expediting the legal process.
Among other things, we are making also some efforts so that if any possibility for the all detained to be released, but because we do respect the rule and regulation that is imposed by the government of Indonesia. So we will not interfere to a certain extent.
He added that the Foreign Ministry has been making efforts to ensure the welfare of Malaysians detained abroad is given priority. The Malaysian Consulate General's office in Medan has visited detainees regularly to ensure their welfare and basic needs, as well as medical assistance, are taken care of. Another visit will be organized soon to discuss the Palembang prosecution and court on how to facilitate the legal process of the detainees and resolve the issue. The Pulau Pinang state government remains steadfast in its decision on its Projek Perumahan Rakyat PPR or public housing scheme to evict tenants who are no longer eligible for the project. Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said the tenants were offered low and medium-cost houses instead, but had turned it down. Saturday was the fourth day that the 6 evicted families staged a sit-in at the compound of Komta building to protest the decision by the state government. On Friday, they were granted a 3-day respite to return to their houses. However, they continued to spend the night along the Komta walkway. According to Chow, all of them had lost their eligibility for the PPR scheme, including those who claimed that their houses were offered as compensation after their earlier houses were demolished.
Kategori ini sepatutnya transit saja. Mereka ditawarkan di Sungai Pinang, Sri Saujana dan sebagainya. Mungkin ini pada zaman sebelum kami lah. Tapi mereka tidak follow up dengan permanent punya relocation facility. Taman Manggis memang sementara saja. Sementara pun sudah jadi 11 tahun, 12 tahun. Memang ada kelemahan dari segi pengurusan.
He added that although having lost their eligibility for the PPR scheme, they can still accept offers in other categories like low and medium cost and also affordable houses. However, Housing Exco Jagdeep Singh Dio said the tenants refused to accept the offer and had asked for PPR homes on the island and not on the mainland in Seberang Perai.
Beberapa tawaran telah dibuat, tapi mengapa mereka tak terima? I think you balik pada penduduk dan tanya mereka. Seperti mana saya nyatakan, kita terbuka kepada rundingan. Tetapi isu yang timbul di sini adalah kelayakan mereka sememangnya telah hilang.
Chow and Jagdeep were met at the officiating ceremony of the Affordable Housing Expo in Bukit Mertajam on Saturday. Last Wednesday, the CM had explained that the PPR units are only for the hardcore poor, so those whose income are higher consistently fail to pay their rent, or those with foreign spouses have to move out. The number of people who sought treatment for inhaling toxic fumes from the chemical waste dumped in Sungai Kim Kim near Pasing Gudang, Johor has increased to 79 as at 9:30 p.m. Friday. According to State Health, Environment and Agriculture Committee Chairman Dr. Shahruddin Jamal, 47 of them were warded at the Sultan Ismail Hospital, while 32 others were given outpatient treatment. Dr. Shahruddin said as at 6 p.m. Saturday, the remaining patients at the hospital comprised 2 children, 15 students and 14 adults, including 3 medical workers. 6 of them are being treated at the intensive care unit, but their condition was reported to be stable.
Dari 47 kes yang dirawat di dalam ward Hospital Sultan Ismail, 31 kes masih berada di dalam ward Hospital Sultan Ismail dan 16 kes telah di-discharge.
Speaking to the media at a gotong royong program to fight Aedes in Taman Kota Masai on Saturday, he added that the Johor Bahru Disaster Committee also held a meeting last night to discuss the incident. Dr. Shahruddin, who chaired the meeting, said work to clean the effluents would be carried out soon along the 1.3-kilometre stretch of the affected river. He also said a contractor would be appointed to carry out the work. In Perak, a 4-month-old baby boy died shortly after being rushed to a hospital from a childcare centre at Taman Margosa in Bandar Seri Botani on Friday. Mayor Ikram Adnan said his son, Muhammad Akif Iskandar, was pronounced dead while receiving treatment at the emergency department of the Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital in Ipoh at about 6:55 p.m. When met at the hospital's forensic department on Saturday, the 32-year-old father said that he took his son to the hospital after being informed by the caregiver at the nursery that the baby, the youngest of 3 siblings, was weak and unconscious at about 6 p.m. According to Mio Ikram, a storekeeper in a supermarket, his baby was in good health and only had a runny nose due to a cold. The child was sent to the childcare centre a month ago after his wife, Ismahani Zainal Abidin, aged 30, a bank employee, went back to work after her maternity leave ended.
Mulanya dia daripada Taska. Lepas tu dah petang baru Taska telefon yang cakap anak saya dah lembik lah, dah tak larat kan. Jadi orang datang pergi ambil dia, tengok dia pun dah memang dah lembik, dah tak ada bernadi lah. Kita rasa terkilan lah, kenapa dah anak dah teruk sangat baru dah orang nak bagi tahu, nak call, dah petang kan. Tahulah nanti akan ada susulan lah, tindakan apa semua.
Ipoh Deputy Chief Superintendent Marzuki Mat, when contacted, said the post-mortem report showed that the cause of the baby's death was pulmonary edema, a condition caused by excess fluid in the lungs. The case has been classified as sudden death and no arrests have been made. In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysian singer and actress Emily Kong was killed after her car crashed into a tree at Jalan Kuchai Lama early on Saturday. The 29-year-old is believed to have lost control of her vehicle, which mounted the curb and crashed into the tree in front of a hypermarket at about 3:20 a.m. Her body was sent to the Kuala Lumpur hospital for post-mortem. Kong's family members said her funeral service will be held at 10 a.m. on Tuesday at the Full Gospel Assembly Church in Kuchai Lama. Still in the city centre, an individual has been exposed by netizens for allegedly impersonating as a specialist at a bogus fertility clinic. What was more shocking was that the clinic has been operating since 2016. PW Community, in a Facebook posting last Thursday, exposed the matter in which it said that the individual had claimed to be an obstetrics and gynecology specialist. Some netizens claimed to know the said victim, while others admitted to be victims of the bogus doctor. The clinic, however, has since been closed after its legitimacy was exposed to the public. In Pahang, 4 youths have been remanded for a week to facilitate investigations for allegedly taking turns to rape a 16-year-old girl 3 days ago. The incident allegedly took place at a homestay at Taman Saga, Mentagap. An initial probe revealed that the girl went for an outing with her friend in Temerloh before the 4 suspects approached them and pulled her into a car. The girl apparently realized that she was raped when she woke up naked the next day at 6 a.m. with the suspects in the homestay. Those remanded aged between 16 and 21 were nabbed early Saturday morning, and the case is being investigated under the Penal Code. When we come back, Nightline's esports segment. Don't go away. Now it's time for our esports segment, bringing you the latest esports news in Malaysia. With esports gaining popularity among the youth, many universities have taken the initiative to host their own esports tournament and exhibitions. One of such tournaments is Conistra 2019, hosted by University Malaya, which helps motivate and prepare students on how to tackle the competitive esports scene.
The grassroots initiative was fully organised and operated by the university students with guidance and support from Axis Esports. Students get to learn many new skills, including esports tournament management and stage event production. This encouraged them to learn more about Malaysia's growing esports industry and the countless job opportunities it offers.
This is a good effort from UM. What we are trying to do here is to support them, to assist them from the grassroots. We are right now, what we are trying to do is for the ecosystem is that we want to scout around the talents that there are promising talents that we can run an event by a students.
This is an excellent effort because by organizing such events, they can learn a lot of things. interaction with the external bodies, internal bodies, organisation, facilities management dan sebagainya. So we will encourage this very much.
While esports may have encountered skepticism in the past, many organizations and universities now see the benefits of esports. Apart from contributing towards the Industrial Revolution 4.0 initiative, esports also helps the students improve certain skill sets and cognitive abilities.
But I think esport is actually a gym to the mind, where you produce people, students who can think, who can actually react fast, coordinate things, observation and things like that.
Over 1,000 people attended the two-day grand finals for Conistra 2019, held at College Kediaman Tun Said Zahiruddin in University Malaya, Kuala Lumpur. Backed by Esports Malaysia and Esports Selangor, a total of 700 players competed in 6 different game titles for a share of the prize pool.
Total game yang diadakan adalah 6 game. Kita ada FIFA 19, Tekken 7, Street Fighter, PUBG Mobile, Mobile Legends dan juga Dota 2. Jumlah keseluruhan total prize pool adalah bernilai RM11,000 Malaysia.
Now that the steady growth of the esports industry has been recognized globally, more and more reputable organizations are now looking towards improving grassroots development. The University Esports Initiative is also in line with the Youth and Sports Ministry's aspirations of promoting healthy gaming and skills development, as well as making Malaysia the esports hub in the region.
What skills are employers looking for these days? How much can fresh graduates earn? Thinking of changing your job? How much of a salary increment should you ask for? We take a look at the job market and the opportunities that lie ahead. Ringgit Sense Plus, Monday, 6 p.m. on TV3.
After the breather, North Korea poised to conduct new missile test. Welcome back. Satellite images of a new facility near Pyongyang suggested that North Korea may be preparing for a missile or space launch. According to U.S. news outlet, activities were seen at a site known as Sanumdong, one of the facilities where North Korea has used to produce intercontinental ballistic missiles and space rockets. The images, among others, showed the presence of cars, trucks, rail cars and cranes at the site. The photos were taken just days before U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met in Hanoi for their high-stakes summit, which ended in failure. Moving on, Pakistan stands firm on prohibiting any militant group from operating on the country's soil and carry out attacks abroad in the future. Its Prime Minister Imran Khan said there was a huge desire to build a peaceful and stable Pakistan, following growing international tension to rein in militant groups that carry out attacks in neighbouring India. The statement came days after his government announced a sweeping crackdown against extremist groups in the country. Last month, Pakistan-based group Jaish-e-Mohammed (JEM) claimed an attack in Indian-controlled Kashmir, which killed 40 Indian police and led to clashes between the nuclear-armed rivals as India retaliated. Both countries carried out aerial bombing missions last week and even fought a brief dogfight over Kashmir before tensions cooled. Coming up, action from the Super League. Stay tuned. Sports badminton, the 2019 All England Championship. Malaysia's hopes to see a representative in the mixed doubles final on Sunday diminished when Goh Soon Huat, Siobhan Lai suffered a straight sets defeat in the semi-finals on Saturday. Facing Japan's pair of Yuta Watanabe, Arisa Higashino, Goh and Siobhan lost the first set 16-21. The national pair tried to turn things round in the second set, but the second-seeded Japanese duo proved to be too strong as they sealed the spot in the final with a 21-13 win in 37 minutes. And turning to football now, the 2019 Super League. 4 matches were played on Saturday night. Perak claimed a narrow 1-0 win over Petaling Jaya City FC, while PKNS FC beat Felda United 2-0. Terengganu outplayed Malacca United 3-0. In Johor Bahru, hosts Johor Darul Takzim maintained their lead at the top of the standings following a convincing 3-0 win over PKNP FC. Leandro Velasquez opened the scoring for the Southern Tigers in the 27th minute before Diogo doubled the lead 9 minutes later. Gabriel Cabrera then made it 3-0 4 minutes before the break, taking a comfortable 3-goal advantage into the interval. PKNP pushed hard in search for goals in the second half, but JDT were at their best to steal another 3 points. And that sports item wraps up Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at as Aston Martin Red Bull Racing Team clashes the gap, or rather closes the gap, on Formula One's dominant Mercedes and Ferrari outfits. With that, I'm Brandon Wong. Thank you for your company.